In this video, you're going to see a trade I took that made me over $3,000 on August 26th. And at the end of it, I'll break down the exact trade, everything from the entry to the exit, how I executed the whole thing. And if you're interested in me in teaching you how to do this, click the link below to see if you qualify.
Be a little bit higher.
In this video, you're going to see a trade I
It's
took
not the
that made me
cleanest
over
price action that we've
$3,000
had.
on August
So
26th.
we're
And
going to
at the
use
end of it,
caution with
I'll break
puts, but
down
I
the
do like
exact
this
trade,
resistance line a lot
everything
for
from the
calls.
entry to the
So
exit,
2
how I
minutes left.
executed the
I'm
whole
going to
thing.
pull up the
And if you're interested in me in teaching you how to do this, click the link below to see if you
644
qualify.
calls, August 27th, 644 calls with a firm candle close above this resistance line at 644, 642.91. It does need to be firm. And what I do think we have a decent amount of room up on this. So that makes sense. Ryan, was that too long-winded?
Nope, not at all.
Right on. And I'm going to put overarching in this little region here, team. And like I said, overarching is always an area for me. It's never a precise number. So I definitely think we have a lot of room up. We might hit a little bit of turbulence in this region here. However, I think we have a lot of room back up into this aftermarket high region that you can see all the interactions with through from 1215 all the way into 130, 1330. Let's see what happens here. All right, team, 20 seconds. Let's be at the ready here. Three, two, one, and buy in here. And filled at 141, team. Stop loss is going to be in at 125, team. Mhm. All right, team, if we get a nice little push up, I'll take my stop loss off. As of right now, stop is on. All right, team, I'm going to get my stop loss off now. These contracts are not moving very favorable for us, as you all can see. Stop's back on. See if we can get a nice little push up. All right, team, stop is off. And one nice little push up, if we can get up above that overarching resistance area, I'll look to take profits a little sooner than I'd like to, but just want to get us risk-free if this allows us to on this trade. But this is holding strong, so let's just see if this does what we want it to do, or what we anticipate it to do. So if we push right through that overarching area, and there's our nice little push. If we get back up above that, I'm going to go ahead and go risk-free on this trade, team, expecting that interaction there. Let's see if we can't push through that for us. I'd like a little bit more juice on this than where we're at percentage-wise, but not going to be greedy with this on today's crap price action that we're having. And that's the third attempt for it to try to get through there. One more little jolt. This should be good to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and take half there, team, at 148. I know it's not amazing money, but stops at break even. Threading the needle as best I can with all those interactions at overarching. So like I said, I'm very aware that's not close to our percentages that we wanted. However, contracts are not moving favorably for us, and lots of interactions with that overarching resistance area, which is no surprise. So, and if it allows me to, I will do my best to make them up in the back end. As Ryan would call this, threading the needle. If we can get a close above this overarching, would be absolutely stunning for us. But this is a really good firm candle in the last 10 seconds. This is holding very nicely for us. Like I said, I went risk-free very soon just because of price action, but very nice close for us. Let's see if we can make up some money on the back end. There's your 147, 148 again if you didn't get them. Stop is still on. I'm going to be very greedy with the next port of positions, and I'm not going to try to go risk-free on the rest of it or on more positions off until we get close to aftermarket high, depending on where those contracts are at in the meantime. Just kind of walking you guys through my thought process. There's 150. Let's get a little bit of speed here, Spy. Let's go.
Nice.
And there's your real 10%ish right now. Not quite. That's your 8%. So good targets there. If you guys are green on the week, go ahead and get them off. I'm taking my stop loss off now, team. I do expect some more resistance, which we're seeing right here in this little area of 643.30. We're not quite to it yet, but that's my next level of problems with all the interaction that you guys can see there. I would expect it to come and touch that and pull back off of it. So there's 155, 157. I'm going to go ahead and take a quarter here at 158. I got filled at 157. And I'm going to put my stop in at 145, team. And with any luck, we'll go find the highs of the day and see what happens. Like I said, stops in at 145. Perfect interactions with that aftermarket high that we talked about. That's why I took that next positions off there like we did. I know it's not the percentages that we want, but that's what SPY's giving us, so we're going to take it. My stop's at 145, team, just to let you guys know. I'm going to manage this as best I can with the trailers. My stop is approximately the top of these two wicks here, which I would expect if it comes down, it should retest that little area. Hopefully it won't stop us out and it'll stay above this overarching level. However, I'm just going to try to let this breathe as much as I can to give us the maximum potential for a full trade. And there's our perfect interactions with overarching resistance. Hopefully we can hold that as our support and get a nice big push off of that and back up to our aftermarket high, but let's see what happens for us. All right, team. About a minute and 20 seconds left on this candle. Let's see if we can get that nice push up here. Turn this into a real good full trade for us. But it's a really nice green trade anyways. Not the exact percentages that we wanted, but not the cleanest price action today either. So making the best of our situation, guys.
I mean, it's the most Spy's given us all day, so
What's that?
it's the most Spy's given us all day. I'll take this 100%.
Yeah. And team, if selling in full gets you guys green on the day, green on the week, by all means do so. But that's entirely up to you guys. You all manage accordingly. All right, team, 30 seconds or so. Stop is still on. No need to adjust it. Just going to let this play out. I'm going to try to manage this as best I can and capture some more profits if we get a nice solid push up in the last 20 seconds or so or in the next candle. Ideally, this candle can get up and just at least turn firm for us. It'd be a great close, but
Barry,
we'll see.
I like the wider stop on your trailers than I think
Thanks,
you
Andy.
typically do.
It's a lot wider than I typically do, but we'll see what it does for us. And nice neutral close, not firm, but take what we can get. Yeah, Andy, I had to sell some positions a little sooner than I wanted to than our 8% target. So I'm going to try to make up the trade and balance out my 15% trade that I best I can if it allows me to, but I'll take this all day long. This is not the cleanest price action as we've seen this morning or this afternoon. So contracts are about 154 right now, team. This would be your proper half off sell point. If you guys did not take positions off because you were waiting for your proper exit, this is where you'd be exiting if you got filled where I did. I'm going to slightly slide my stop up to 148. And 148 team is approximately where my overarching resistances line is at 643.13 on my chart. So just going to try to capture this. We did come back down and test that as a support level. It's we got a firm candle on that last candle, so with ideally we can get back up above the high of the day and get a really nice exit on our trailers. We can rip through this aftermarket high. We have a lot of room up to the top side, I believe. And there's 158. I'm going to slide my trailers up to 150 team. Like I said, team, if selling in full gets you guys green, by all means do so. I can't emphasize enough to prioritize green days and green weeks for you all. Let's see if we can get back up above and hold above this aftermarket high area. You guys can see where there's perfect candle closes on it at 1300, at 1305, and then right above it and below it on the 1240 and 1245 candles. So sometimes those levels are very relevant, sometimes they're not. Currently, it's very relevant for us. I'm going to take my stop loss up to 152. You all manage accordingly on this. This is a lot looser on my trailers than I normally would. I'm just trying to maximize this as much as I can in percentage wise here. Expecting another reaction team right about here at the top of these two bodies at 643.51. If we can clear up past that, we have a lot of room up.
Been a really nice move. And the distribution on the chart is significant. It's crazy. I mean, the contracts are up 15, even maybe a little more now. But, to go from only 160 to 162 on that latest push, you'd like to see a little bit more.
Mhm. So if we can get a nice firm close here above this aftermarket high, it looks like we will. And great close, fantastic close. Let's see what we get here. Expect it to come back down and retest aftermarket high. We just seen so much interaction with it this morning, but if it doesn't, that's all the better for us. I'm going to slide my stop up to 153. I know it's not much, but just gonna, like I said, trying to capture this as much as I can. And there's that aftermarket high. Hopefully it holds that as now a support and we can continue upwards. Ideally, we can come find 643.59 and slide our stop up again. But as Andy mentioned, these contracts they were moving really well, and then that last little push, it
Yeah.
didn't quite correspond. But we'll take what we give it. That's out of our control. We're not gonna worry about stuff we can't change. And right around my stop, few dollars away from it. Hopefully we can hold back up above that aftermarket high, and if not, all good.
Nice.
Man is loving to hold that aftermarket high. If we can hold above that, I think we have a really good chance of getting some good runners here. But either way, nice green trade.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. Now let's see if we can get that explosion that we want and find new highs for the day. Final minute, team. We should get some movement here on the last minute of this candle. Typically, the most movement the candle gives us is that final minute. Just a little push up. So we can stay above this aftermarket high in the last 5 seconds will be ideal. And good close. Not a great candle, but a good close out of a level. Let's see if we can just defend that aftermarket high and get on up with our contracts. Just slow one, huh?
100%. I mean, listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point. And also, this is by far the most amount of consistent movement in one direction we've had today. If you just look left, you won't see anywhere else where we had 3, 5 consecutive green 5-minute candles, or red for that matter.
Yes.
Actually, I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess we did on the way down, starting at 1:30. But this has been the best move that we've had today, and certainly I think the only real high quality opportunity that's presented itself within the general hours that we trade within. But if it takes these daily highs, we could see much more favorable movement of the contracts. That's just conjecture, and it doesn't matter. We're risk free. It's all great and dandy. But I do think if we are to happen to break these daily highs, contracts would be in a better spot.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. Another nice retest of the aftermarket high and holding that level pretty strongly. So let's see. And team, after this, I'll break down how I found this level for some of you all joined late and how I found this entry. Not the cleanest setup of resistance, so I'll break that down for everyone at the end of this. So if we can't get back up above that red candle, it looked like it tried to take it out there, but it just rejected it pretty hard. Looks like it's starting to form a new little level in here with all those wicks. 643.47, top of the wicks. Lots of interactions with 643.47. So if we can get a little, we can get that bump that we're after.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 30 seconds left. Let's see if we can get a little, at least a firm close. There we go. Rip past it.
we go.
Beautiful. Want to close anything firm up here is great for us. Beautiful
Nice.
close.
Yeah.
All right, team. I'm going to slide my stop up to 155, 160, 160 on that team. Take the stop up to 162. I'm still going to let this breathe a little bit, team. We have a lot of time here. I'm going to do my best to let this run up to that previous day open without choking this out. It's a fine line now of maximizing our profits and not being greedy. Let's take this top to 165. That'll be right below the red and green candle to the left. And like I said, team, if selling in full right here puts you guys very green on the week, green on the day, green on the month, by all means do so. It might start running into a little bit of a problem at the 643.78. However, this trade is awesome and green, so let's let it be.
Incredible trade, man.
Thanks, Ryan. Stops in at 165, team. And Andy, you called it. If it took that high of the day, those contracts just went on fire with it.
Yeah, they did end up moving nicely there.
Yep. Right at my stop, still alive for the moment. Some of you all might have got stopped, some of you might not have. I'm still alive.
I am still alive as well.
Looks like it's starting to run out of a little bit of juice, huh?
A little bit.
All right, team, final minute. This is a 30-minute trade. This is a long one, huh?
Oh, yeah.
See if we can get that strong push in the final 20 seconds or so.
Price has been moving quite unusually the last couple days. Like it's obviously we got a really great push on this one, but we've had times where it just like stops and moves like a penny at the most. It's a little unusual. Hopefully you get some. Just a little bit more.
I'm going to keep my stop at the 165 team. I don't see a reason to slide it up at the moment. It's pretty tight from where our current price is at on these contracts. If we get up above the wick of the last candle, I'll look to move my stop up a little bit more, team. But as of right now, I'm just going to hold steady where we're at.
What were the highs of the contracts?
174 is what I'm showing. It's the highs of the contracts
Okay.
at the top of that wick to the left. So
Nice.
if we can get back up past that wick, I'll slide my stop up a little bit more to try to capture some more for us. But a little bit of speed on this, and these deltas are so high, it should really work in our advantage. And there it goes there. Beautiful. Back to 174, 175. Going to take my stop to 168. Hmm. And this is pretty tight on the stop at this point, team. Like now, I'm just trying to maximize our trade force. I know we sold earlier on that first half, so trying to put as much as we can in the account on the trade after with those runners. Plus, they're kind of fun. Hmm. Right around my stop. Still alive for the moment. If we can get above this 643.78, I think we can get to 644.02 after that. But that's I mean, there's nothing to be sad about this trade in today's price action, in my opinion.
Absolutely not.
I mean, from a back testing standpoint, the only thing I think I could have done better is possibly waited a little bit longer in that first half of our positions, but just the way price was behaving, I did not want to take a risk of a red trade and a stop out. Couple cents away from stop. Let's see if this works out for us. You guys still alive or y'all get stopped?
Still alive.
Fantastic. All right, let's see if we can just get a firm close on this candle. 5 seconds. Just a
Let's
firm,
finish.
beautiful close. Holding my stop still steady, team, at the 168. I know it's a tight stop. If it stops us, so be it. And if we get to run it up to $3, then all the better.
Yeah, this is one of the longer trades we've had in a while. I love it.
Man. And just beautiful follow through and distribution on it, like with the weird price action we've had all day. Kind of
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because SPY does what SPY does, but
Wow.
and let's see if it interacts perfectly with this 643.78. It's a lot of stuff going on there yesterday afternoon. Like I said, team, if selling in full is what your style is and you like to do, this is a really good spot to sell in full. 173, 174 on your contracts. And there it is, shooting right through it. Beautiful. Taking my stop up
Look
to
at that.
175. And now this is very tight on the stop here, so this will probably come back and tap us with this little bit of a move we just had. But let's see. Still alive, 175. Don't be greedy with those trailers, team. This could reverse at any moment. Still alive and stopped.
Incredible.
All right.
Let's go.
What a trade.
Thanks, man.
That
That
was
was a good one.
beautifully done.
Thank you, Sanders. Appreciate it, Andy. How'd you guys do in that one? Please say good.
I
Please say
was a
good.
little.
That's just so that. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was like, oh, I got to fill at 143, 2 cents above
Oh.
yours. But then, I mean, by the end of that trade, that doesn't matter at all, right? I was like,
No, good deal.
yeah.
So team 642.91. I want to walk you guys through how I found this level. It's a textbook level, but it's a little bit more advanced than what we typically would find, right? So 642.91. And the reason why I was so confident with this level, we have green wick touch to the top of it at 1040, body touch at 1045, right? Very interesting of how this is now being confirmed as resistance. It never closes above it, comes down below it, goes very nicely. Now, if you look really closely, a precise wick touch at 1155, giving me a lot of confirmation that that is still very, very valid for resistance. But this is where it solidifies that level to me. This green candle at 12 o'clock closes above it. Little red retest, but beautiful distribution all the way up above aftermarket high. That to me is the clear part of where it's the top part of a swing point. Clear break above it. SPY distributes exactly the way our strategy allows us to take this trade. We come down below here. This candle here would have broke a support level. And then it immediately breaks down with a.
So the first thing I did when the session started for the afternoon session that I trade between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. was look for support and resistance. I have all my key levels marked, and I keep those on the chart throughout the day. I mark the previous day high, the previous day high touches, the previous day low touches, the previous day open, the previous day close, aftermarket high, aftermarket low, the pre-market high, and the pre-market low. In this particular case, we did not need some of those levels, but I just make them aware. So I established a support line around 642.79, and I established resistance, and you can see through the earlier morning sessions at the 1025 candle how it clearly went up above it, closed, but then retraced and came back, confirming that to be a false breakout. And then you can see all these interactions between 1035, 1040, the 1045 candle, and then this wick here that fails to get above it and close it. Now this story This is the one that to me tells the real story at 11:55 candle, where this wick goes up, and then it's also in line with these two bodies, and that wick really fails to close it. But this is what makes me convinced that this is a really good level. So this candle here at 12 o'clock closes above it. Red candle comes and retests it with beautiful distribution all the way up to the aftermarket high area. So I established my resistance line at the top of these bodies, but most importantly this wick here, because this wick is the last candle that tested our resistance level, and then it closed above it and continued to distribute upwards in our favor. So that was, like, to me, the very, very clear level. So to me, that was a very clear level, which is most importantly this wick right here, as you can see. That was the one I was really concerned about, because that was this first candle at 12 o'clock was it really allowed us to get above that resistance line, where it came back and it retested. But this is where we know that when it closed above it, it distributed beautifully up throughout the afternoon. And then we got those interactions here with the aftermarket high, which is also the Tokyo market / Asia market. You know, lots of interactions with the aftermarket here. So we just want to make sure that we're taking this trade and we're going to get risk-free. So on the candle that closed at 1400, the 2 o'clock candle, I took entry with this firm candle close above it. And this was the candle that I took entry on here. And I took this and I got filled at $1.41 a contract, or $141 a contract on SPY. It's the only ticker I trade. And I was literally concerned, and I'm going to draw a line on it here so you all can see what I'm talking about. So this area right here was what I would be calling overarching resistance. And that line is approximately at 643.12. So we took our entry. The candle closed at 642.97 with plenty of room up to that region. And overarching resistance for me is never a precise number. It's more of an area of concern. So the next area of that region would be in this box here between the 643.12 to 643.29. So after taking that entry, you can see this clear distribution up. So I bought them and I sold some of my positions a little earlier than I would normally sell them. And I usually look for 10% on that first half, which would be about $1.54 to $1.55. And I sold half of mine at that 144, I'm sorry, that 144, 148 region right here. And the reason why is because it was interacting with that and it didn't cleanly push up through it very quickly, and then it came back down. And then the next candle, it came all the way up here, and I was risk-free on the trade by now. My stop loss was at break even. And then at this point, right in here, I was able to get another portion of my positions off, and I sold more of those at $1.58 at that point. So now bringing my trade to a very, very profitable trade. So I sold, of my 200 contracts, I sold 100 of them at 148. I sold another 100 of them, another 50 of them at 157 right here in this little region right there. And then I put my stop loss back to break even, and I was giving it plenty of room to breathe, because my thought process was if we could get above this aftermarket high was what I was so concerned with. And once this candle here, although this is a red candle, this is still a very bullish candle. And then it distributed up nicely all the way up above it, taking highs of the days all the way up here. And with that happening, we were able to get our trailer stopped at 175 on those. So turning that in, that trade, it took a little bit of time. It took about 35 minutes of our time. But in that 35 minutes, we made $3,400 on that trade. And if you like the way this trade looks and how simple this strategy is on the entries and the exits, feel free to click the link below to see if you qualify for us to coach you.